The idea that identity politics was the problem for Democrats is laughable, considering it wasn't Vice President Kamala Harris who relentlessly focused on race or gender.
Meanwhile,
white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, we don't send any of those invites to any black women, you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming.
All right, so there's a viral video going around of Joy Reid doing what Joy Reid does best, create racist comments and unhinged takes about whatever she feels she needs to discuss with people. And in the latest episode of Deranged Reid, she is now attacking white women because of this election loss. Now, I guess this is just a continuation of the meltdowns that we've been covering. And so here it is.
Hey, I just want to give some free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women, you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and prioritize black communities, black businesses, and you know, the black spaces, but Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Now, I want to ask you guys a question. If you were white, even a white male Christian, and you said something like this and you worked for CNN or MSNBC, what do you think will happen to you? I mean, you'd be fired immediately. I don't understand why they continue to allow her to be on MSDNC, unless they're all racist, right? Because when you have someone who comes out and speaks that way about other racial groups, number one, it shows the lack of intelligence, of course. But number two, it demonstrates how much she does not understand why they lost this election in the first place. In fact, she's demonstrating that one of the main reasons why they lost, it's because they're out of touch. And obviously, as a black man, I have to comment on the whole thing. Well, black women are now going to prioritize black men. Number one, when did you ever speak for black men or black women? I find that to be funny. And again, if we look at recorded history, black men are not going to be prioritized. It just isn't the culture that we live in. Now, she's still trying to explain or understand why Kamala Harris lost. And at this point, I know you and me are thinking the same. Will you just let it go and move on?
As we try to unpack exactly what happened in last week's election and how Donald Trump won, there's one particularly disingenuous argument that has emerged.
I think one of the losers here is condescending identity politics.
We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think.
The dominance of identity politics on the left, which made it push for all kinds of DEI policies that largely came out of the urban academic bubble, but alienated many mainstream voters.
The idea that identity politics was the problem for Democrats is laughable, considering it wasn't Vice President Kamala Harris who relentlessly focused on race or gender, either her own or anyone else's. That would be Donald Trump. In fact, it was Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, who ran an identity politics entire campaign focused on men. They have an identity too, you know. I mean, Trump did walk out to the song, "It's a Man's World" at the Republican convention. And again, all the focus on identity politics came from Trump and Vance, not Democrats.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. We're talking a lot about Venezuela because Aurora is really infected by Venezuela, but they're coming from all countries.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools.
Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
Okay, before I get into it, if you're getting value so far, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description below, shop the merch store, or buy us a cup of coffee. Understand something, deranged Reid. The Democratic Party has historically been the party of identity politics, and that is not debatable. Secondly, Kamala Harris focused more on women, spent more money targeting women than Trump spent on targeting men. It's not even a comparison. The central argument for Kamala Harris was abortion rights, which is only a women's issue. What was at the center of Donald Trump's argument? Immigration, economy, cost of living, crime and safety, foreign policy, all of these things. She's so off base. And yes, she did have comments about Trump's latest mass deportation plans. Here is that.
With the Meat Act's approach and also with denaturalization, meaning don't think because you have a green card and came through the right way, if you're brown, you may not stick around. I don't think they care whether you have a green card or not. They're pulling people out and taking people out of this country, whether you like it or not.
That's why in a common sense world, she would never be on the news, okay? The other thing is, this is why the legacy media is dying. Because people can't stand how out of touch they have become. You know, and it's to a point where what they're saying is 100% opinion. None of it is actually rooted in a data point, in a case study, you know, in firsthand knowledge. None of it is. It's just pure propaganda.
Yet it was the hip hop and Hulk Hogan generation, the F your feelings latchkey kids who came up on Dynasty, Dallas, and The Apprentice, who were the lone age group that voted in a majority for Trump. A majority of Gen X voted to turn America into an autocracy and to condemn our kids and grandkids to a far-right Supreme Court, probably for the rest of their lives.
Okay, so one moment here. A far-right Supreme Court, okay, there's still 3 liberal justices on there. That's 1. 2, I assume a few of them will retire within the next 10 years, so that's a whole nother thing. And 3, to say that we've condemned our kids and grandchildren sounds pretty out of touch, right?
And it was not just Gen X, because while 91% of black women voted for Kamala Harris, 53% of white women overall voted for Trump, despite the open disrespect and demonization hurled by J.D. Vance and the Supreme Court stripping women's bodily autonomy, courtesy of Donald Trump, who closed his repulsive campaign by dropping the B word on Nancy Pelosi.
So as we move forward in this country, we're going to find that there will be people deranged just like her, ready every step of the way to push misinformation. We're going to have people every step of the way trying to scare people about what's actually happening. They're not going to report it properly. They're not really going to focus on the truth. They're going to focus on a narrative. And now that clearly Trump has won the presidency handedly, by the way, what else do they have left? Well, it's their opinions. That's what they have left. And if you pay attention, that all of these accusations, these labels, these attacks from the left towards the right, the irony about everything is that everything that they accuse us of being is exactly who they are right now in this moment in time. And so that is my opinion. What is your take on what Joy Reid had to say and how deranged it really was? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. What I find to be interesting is how she's still on the air today. Can we start a petition to get her off, please? I'm not really advocating for people to be canceled. What I'm advocating for is for someone who clearly has demonstrated that they are racist to be removed. Remember, they want to protect people. They want to call out racism. So if I'm calling it out, well, you guys do something about it. I am black, right? So don't I have a say in this? I know I'm being facetious, right? But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. The other people that might be racist just as much as her are the women on The View. And today they did lose their mind because, again, Trump appointed a new border czar, and they're taking the same page from the book of deranged Reid, and going into fear-mongering and racist comments. And if you guys want to check that out, you can click on that video because it's coming up right now.